Nino Brown Boxing. I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. All right, guys. So you know the video was coming. I got to talk about my man Jarrett Hurd. He has his fight date. He has his opponent, and Jarrett Hurd had an interview with Fight Hype that was posted yesterday. And my man Jarrett Hurd, fellow DMV native, went in depth and explained a lot of stuff. He very transparent in this interview. Basically, a few things I want to touch on. First is Jarrett Hurd's transparency in this interview is something that I must respect. It was one of those interviews where it was nothing but a lot of honesty. He gave a lot of perspective from Jarrett Hurd's, from his vantage point. He spoke on his fight with J-Rock. He spoke on his former trainer Ernesto. He spoke on his upcoming opponent, and he spoke on his future goals when it comes to just boxing in its entirety. Jarrett Hurd has made it clear to all the people that had any type of questions when it comes to him and it comes to his intentions with Julian J-Rock Williams. He has made it clear, and his message to everyone is simple. Jarrett Hurd has a new trainer. Jarrett Hurd is very aware of the things that he needs to work on. He stated specifically in this interview that he needs to work on his footwork. He needs to work on his technical ability. He said in one of his posts he needs to focus on his jab. He needs to focus on utilizing his size in a different capacity, basically bringing a different wrinkle to his fight game. Jarrett Hurd understands that, like he said, he was tripping over his feet in fights and his footwork wasn't necessarily there. And the fact that Jarrett Hurd is able to speak openly about his shortcomings says a lot. I mean, it says a lot about him as a fighter, but it also says even more about him as a man. A lot of people aren't able to be accountable for their shortcomings, but it's a whole different animal when you're able to openly and honestly speak about it. So hats off to Jarrett Hurd for that. So Jarrett Hurd is clearly adding different wrinkles to his arsenal. Now, with that being said, his upcoming opponent, he's fighting on Danny Garcia's undercard. I don't remember the guy's first name. He said the guy is Santana. Last name is Santana. Jarrett Hurd spoke about his upcoming opponent, and he made it clear. He said that he understands that this opponent is not like a top-level guy. The things that he's been working on with his new trainer that everyone has criticized him on for year after year and says that he needs to work on. Well, he's been working on it. He's been working on his defense, and he selected an opponent where he'll have the best space to put his new, put the new items in his repertoire into an actual fight. He wants to apply it and see how things work out for him, and that's definitely a smart choice. With that being said, Jarrett Hurd has also expressed that he openly said that he relinquished his rematch clause with Julian J-Rock Williams. He spoke on that, and so they said, well, what is his intentions? Do we want to get his belt back? Do we want to fight J-Rock? And he spoke on both. When it comes to him getting his belt back, he definitely wants to run it back with J-Rock. He said that he knows that since he relinquished his rematch clause, things going to have to go one or two ways. One, J-Rock is just going to grant him a rematch, and they're going to run it back because he said he would love to have that rematch immediately after this fight on January 25th. Or if J-Rock doesn't want to give him a rematch, he said he's going to have to work his way up to get his rematch, which is very commendable. And a lot of transparency from Jarrett Hurd, no excuses. He did say recently this past weekend he watched his fight against J-Rock for the first time. He noticed that he was slapping with a lot of his punches. He spoke on his trainer, and he said that his trainer felt that he knew it was going to happen because of the lifestyle he was living. And Jarrett Hurd went in depth when it came to his former trainer Ernesto, and he made it clear that a lot of the stuff that Ernesto was saying about him in the media, he said that it bothered her. He said he just felt that if his trainer felt that way, why didn't he come to him directly? And then some guy in the background of the interview said that, later on, Ernesto was very apologetic about his comments that he made, and Jarrett Hurd acknowledged that, he was aware of that, and, that was like a mutual understanding when it comes to that situation. When it comes to the whole Ernesto thing, I understand where Jarrett Hurd is coming from. I understand where Ernesto is coming from, but when it comes to the details that was spoken openly in the public, You know, you have the people that just dislike Jarrett Hurd for whatever reason. I don't know, but put it like this: when it comes to situations with guys and their trainers, you got the Danny Jacobs situation with his trainer, the Tim Bradley situation with his former trainer, and guys, you know, people speak on how things should be handled, how two men should be able to talk face to face, not go to the media, not do shit through text messages, not have their wife deliver the message, whatever the case may be. And I felt that Jarrett Hurd wanted that same respect granted to him when it came to Ernesto communicating certain information to the media that wasn't directly communicated to him. Cool. Now, overall, Jarrett Hurd has also spoken about his weight. He said he's aware of the pros of him having a camp outside of his hometown, that being a DMV. He was in Colorado. He's been training there. He said currently at the time of this interview, he was at around 178 pounds. So he still has to cut down to 154. He said the benefits of not training at home and not training, like while he was living at home with his parents, is he had the access to have chefs and have meal plans, and I'm sure that definitely affect like his calorie intake and making cutting weight a whole lot easier. But man, Jarrett Hurd was extremely transparent, and I keep saying it because there's not many guys that are openly this critical about their shortcomings. On top of that, Jarrett Hurd said that he will continue to pursue Julian J. Rock Williams because he got to run it back. Even if the belts aren't on the line, he said J. Rock loses his belts, he still want to run that fight back. And he said that he will chase J. Rock for the next year and a half, 2 years. But he said after that point, he feels that he will have to move up to 160 pounds. He also did clarify that during this time between the J. Rock loss and now, he was contemplating moving up to middleweight, but he ultimately decided to stay at 154. Hey man, I really appreciate this interview by Jarrett Hurd. He cleared up everything. I noticed like when it comes to a lot of fighters, a lot of people be extremely secretive. They leave the fans wondering what the fuck is going on. People don't understand the full story. I feel like Jarrett Hurd did his best to clear up any doubts. He didn't leave anything up for interpretation. He answered all the questions very clear and decisively. He didn't beat around the bush. Jarrett Hurd did not, he didn't answer a question with a question or pull some Floyd Mayweather shit and not answer the question at all, just try to talk around it. Hey man, hats off to Jarrett Hurd. That was a really great interview. It was on Fight Hype. Go check it out. So I guess the video came out on Fight Hype December 19th. But it's Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.